Many people know that in 2023, the landscape in real estate began to get a little more difficult, partly because what had happened is in the industry, we had had a reduction in the number of sales happening nationally between 2021 and 2022 because interest rates rose, and that fed into 2023. And so I've watched a lot of my competitors and colleagues downsizing because of that. But as a real estate agent who also survived through the 2007 to 2010 downturn of the Great Recession, one of the things I do happen to know as a business leader and owner is that that was the time to actually become more aggressive in my marketing and in my outreach to my client base, because that's what actually got us through those difficult times. So I decided to use the same more aggressive manner of doing business because I fully expect to get through 2023 with growth at the end of the year. And the only way you do that is by putting that extra manpower basically into it, or, people power. For me, what that meant was I couldn't reduce to just myself as a salesperson on the team. I needed to add other people. And so the two positions that we added in, Kimberly, who's on our team, she is our new inside sales associate, or ISA, and she is helping become an extension of me. She's full-time. She's helping me with doing outreach. We have 400 past clients, as well as a database of 5,000 individuals in my sphere, along with 3,000 names inside of attorneys where we're trying to cultivate new business. 8,000 people is too many for one person to try and reach out to. So we saw the benefit of bringing somebody else in who could help me on a regular basis with doing outreach. Angel was brought in to do additional social media work for us. Besides Angel and Joem, who are working social media for us, which, by the way, we've also been segmenting who's doing which part of our social media. Right now, Joem is actually helping lead the way on our website development. Not that he's doing the website development, he's just taking marketing materials that we have, providing that to the outsourced web designer. So he's in charge of making sure that this person gets all the content that she needs to complete our website. We also have Rain on the team, who was brought on last summer to start helping us with a lot of our systems, procedures, and setting up SOPs, or standard operating procedures, for us, so that as we try and grow, we have systematized ways of how we do things. So she also has become kind of the expert go-to in our team for our CRM, or customer relationship system. So we use Follow Up Boss. So Rain will utilize that to help pull different lists for us when we're doing different marketing campaigns. When we have new buyers and sellers, she starts them on different plans for us. She also coordinates with my outside listing coordinator and transaction coordinator, making sure that she has the right information that she needs regularly. There's a litany of tasks that she helps take on. She also does a lot of work in helping make sure that the entire team that we have is coordinating their efforts as well towards all the different projects we have going on. The fifth person that we have in the team is Jester, who started out with doing a lot of the social media type marketing with us, but has now become kind of our resident expert on video editing. He's doing a combination of video efforts in that we are currently using AI tools like Synthesia to create videos that don't require me to actually be on camera, but that we can use avatars to do content. He's also creating other types of video that are from stock footage and just content for educational components and for our social media platforms. And then he's also taking professional video that I'm having done and editing that for use on our website, our social media, for outreach to clients, and going into our systems that we have for buyers and sellers, explaining parts of the process of what they're going through. The fact that I've worked with Jester and Joem for almost 2 years now, they already understand the landscape here. Rain's been with me for over a year, same thing. They were actually really helpful to the two new people in bringing them on and getting them set up into a lot of the training content that we have. The biggest challenges as a leader in an organization is recognizing when you need to delegate to other people. And so the 3 people who were already on the team were delegated with some of the tasks of helping them get ramped up. Since Joanne was already doing a lot of the social media, he was able to work directly with Angel to get her up to speed. And then I had them work together to decide for themselves who would take on which task inside of the social media. So it was actually a big relief to see that they were very well skilled and able to communicate together, as well as to work with their manager within Virtudesk was also instrumental in kind of making sure that they were all working together to make sure that that was going to go smoothly. So I thought that was fantastic. I love that they were very proactive in being engaged in their own work and decision making. That's actually really important for me. I'm not the bottleneck all the time. That's actually probably the biggest thing that we talk about in my team is how do we not make Reba the bottleneck in her own business? It's a really key thing to do. Learning to delegate, trusting your team, then letting them, run with it frees me up, one, to have my mental headspace go elsewhere, as well as be able to be out in front of more clients. That's been the number one thing in the last couple of months is I am now in contact, in communication with, and meeting with, and engaging with more and more of the people that we need to be in touch with. And that's what you're looking for as a business owner. The fact that we're already pre-identifying business that is going to be coming to us soon, that helps me with forecasting and recognizing, okay, do we need to start considering bringing other agents on the team? Because the ultimate goal here is I want to get off the front line of my business and actually have a team of agents. One of the reasons that I went this direction in working with Virtudesk is because to me, I really needed to make sure I had a really big, secure back end or back office that could support a team of people. Because I think one of the things that many agents make the mistake of is the first hire they make is another agent rather than setting the groundwork for their systems. If you just bring in another agent, you're two people running around just trying to do sales and there's no one to really support the efforts that you're putting into it. But for me right now, I'm putting in this back office side of it, which is supportive of me personally right now, as well as helping us all look at scalability of what we're putting in place so that we can bring agents on to then lift the business up in revenues. One of the things that we would actually really love to do as we start increasing our agent count and we start having more transactions, one of our major goals is to also then be adding in other people who can be transaction coordinators for us. On top of that, one of the things that Kimberly's doing for me right now is I actually have her with, we checked in, my local multiple listing service does allow for somebody in the Philippines to have access to their systems because there are a lot of people who have been working with virtual assistants. She actually has access to the MLS. And one of the other goals is because we want to have things like comparative market analysis more frequently provided to our clients, as well as create a revenue stream for that when working with attorneys. We want to eventually work into being able to have a team of VAs that can help us get those done. Because what I have to look at all the time is what is something that I do inside the office and what do I do outside the office? And if there are tasks that I can train somebody on that is inside the office, then that is a perfect set of tasks to train and then hand off to somebody who is a virtual assistant. But the being in front of the client, going to the houses, that still requires a human being on the ground here in my local area to be able to do that. Or if I'm going out and doing networking events, I need to physically be in front of people. But anything that can be trained to another person who is dedicated in their workspace, that's a perfect setup for us to have that offloaded to a virtual assistant. I will say being able to coach that they have right now, I will say it's a partnership because each of the managers I've had at Virtudesk who have worked with my team have been very interested and concerned about making sure I have good experiences. And I have the same interest. I want the team to do really well, and I want all of us to grow together. And we're constantly talking about the different ways in which we can do that that is beneficial to all the parties involved. And I give kudos because I do know that your organization competes with other kinds of VAs that are out there that are independent contractors. And I tell people all day long, the reason I love working with Virtudesk is because you have one, a great company culture. There's internalized training. Not only is there what I train my team on, but what your organization trains people on so that they're already familiar with the different systems that I'm already using in my business. So I don't have to go train somebody on all of that. And the fact that there's a manager who's making sure that we're working towards the same goals together, I see it as a great partnership. To me, it's another way of having a leg of HR without having to have an HR department.